Regular working people are struggling to afford rent. Idaho Asset Building Network says median wages from the 5 most popular Idaho jobs don't pay enough for a normal apartment. Our Andrew Bartline spoke with a woman who's dealing with this firsthand, obviously very sad, very frustrated. Andrew joins us live now in Boise. Andrew, what's her story?
Yeah, Virginia Wilson lives at the Edgewater Apartments just off State Street. You can see it heading eastbound toward downtown right behind me. She's called this area home near the Collister area, Collister neighborhood rather, for the last 3 years. She says at the Edgewater Apartments, rent has increased year to year, $50 maybe. But when the calendar rolls over to next year and she gets a new lease, it's an extra $500 a month. It's not easy to budget an extra $500 each month.
No, not at all.
And Virginia Wilson is already anticipating some of the hard decisions she'll have to make.
It's going to be stretching into like our grocery budget. You know, we're coming into Christmas and, you know, it's like Merry Christmas. You know, it's a tough year.
Virginia's lived at Edgewater Apartments for 3 years with her son and daughter-in-law. And while Virginia says all three are working, they still aren't prepared for a $500 monthly increase to rent.
Kids ended up with COVID and they were positive. And so it put them out of work. So we used all of our means that we had saved to cover so we wouldn't lose moving out. And now we're in a spot where we don't have nothing saved to where if we wanted to move.
I think it's very difficult right now to live in Idaho and not know somebody who's being impacted by the increasing rents that we're seeing.
Kendra Knighton is a policy associate at the Idaho Asset Building Network. Through data analysis, the organization made this graph with numbers from the Idaho Department of Labor. It shows the 5 most common Idaho jobs. You see that thin blue line at the top? It represents a wage of $17.36 an hour. That's the wage needed to put 30% of income toward a fair market rental. None of these jobs pay a median wage high enough to afford it.
We've definitely seen that the gap between rents and wages is just growing larger and larger.
The city of Boise is already working to address this problem. In August, the city concluded they need 27,000 new affordable housing units over the next decade, and that's expected to cost $5 billion. It's not an overnight fix.
We have no choice.
And that's leaving everyday people like Virginia stuck working paycheck to paycheck for rent they can't afford.
It's going to be a tough year, but we're not set to move out. We just aren't.
Kendra doesn't think the market's going to correct itself, and she really wants Idaho lawmakers to step in and maybe put some money toward helping and aiding people like Virginia so rents can't get out of hand as we're starting to see. Now, the state does have $1.6 billion in surplus right now. We do know that Governor Brad Little is speaking with Doug Petcash this weekend on Viewpoint. That'll be at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Morgan.
Andrew, those apartments have historically been considered affordable. Is that what she was saying as well? She's been able to afford it over the past several years until now?
Yeah, and that's what she said too when she spoke with them. That was the argument they gave, is that they're increasing the rent to keep up with what they believe to be fair market value. She said it's tough because traditionally Edgewater has been seen as one of the more affordable options, and it hasn't been super difficult on them, but she says these $500, it's gonna be tough to make ends meet. She told me that they're gonna have to look at their grocery bill and start budgeting things differently just to afford rent.
Andrew, that's so sad. Thank you. You know, it's because these landlords can, not because the value of these places are necessarily increasing.